Motorists with articulated lorries vulnerable in the storm. Flash floods covered many roads. In Saxony in East Germany, on one motorway, a special crane had to be brought in to lift a truck blown over in the high winds. Thunderstorms and heavy rain were the main culprits, leaving thousands of travellers stranded at railway stations with trains cancelled or delayed. Frankfurt Airport was closed for a time. Falling branches were reported to have caused several injuries. In the eastern Arrow region of Russia, a state of emergency has been declared after 300 homes were flooded. Around 1,500 people have been evacuated because of the rising water.
I told you Russia was going to get hit hard.
We bought a house 2 months ago, repaired some of it, and now everything is underwater. And summer could be on hold for a while longer, with forecasters predicting more rain.
The government has declared a state of emergency in 5 regions in Russia's Far East. The Amur region has been hit the hardest. About 1,200 people have been evacuated and 32 residential areas inundated.
And the Los Angeles Times says the sun's magnetic field is about to flip. The effect will be felt throughout the solar system, including Earth.
They say the sun's magnetic fields weaken completely, then re-emerge with opposite polarity. So what does this mean for us on Earth? 2 words: cosmic rays. Some researchers say the rays might affect the cloudiness and climate on Earth.
Japan's government says the Fukushima plant has been leaking contaminated water for the last 2 years since being destroyed by a tsunami. A Japanese official told reporters the nuclear facility was releasing up to 300 tons of contaminated groundwater per day into the Pacific Ocean. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe promised to increase the government's efforts and ensure the plant's operator, TEPCO, deals with the €8 billion cost.
Well, it is nothing more than a muddy mess tonight. Something happened last night that caused all of the water to drain out of the pond. The people who live there now have a mess on their hands, a smelly mess at that. Yes, well, the Morlock family says lightning hit their SUV's antenna, knocking out the electrical system and blowing out 3 tires.
And the rain had been coming down all day. When Taylor wished for something he couldn't take back.
Says he could feel the hair on the back of his neck stand up, and said that is the last time he will wish for something like that.
Waters are rising, and the map says it all. Now more than half the country under threat of flood.
Days and days of
torrential rain
have left neighborhoods cut off,
it was on there.
Swept away, and have led to evacuations and some dramatic rescues. It's happening across the nation's midsection, and it has left scores of communities awash in misery. The rain totals have been astounding. In some places, 10 inches in a single night, destroying homes, businesses, and turning some streets into raging rapids. And tonight there have been more deaths.
Underwater again. The latest flash flooding fatal in Oklahoma. Too much rain too fast, swamping this Walmart in Cortland, New York. Look at the store before and the image tweeted by the Weather Service after. More than 5 inches of rain falling in just hours.
This is what just an hour's worth of heavy rain can do. Flash floods taking out a string of cars on Highway 24 near Colorado Springs. From the mountain west to the east coast and on to the south, severe storms over the past few days have led to at least 3 deaths and hundreds homeless.
Parts of Japan are underwater as torrential rains wreak havoc. Floods and landslides have been triggered by some of the worst downpours on record.
The Japan Meteorological Agency told residents in the region to take immediate action to protect their lives after nearly double the monthly average of rain fell in a matter of hours. Train services have also been suspended.
These shocking aerials show the deadly flooding that's killed at least 5 people.
I told you guys water was coming.
At least 6 people are dead after a volcano erupted on a tiny island in Indonesia.
Mount Rokatenda on Palu Island gushed hot lava and spewed ash and smoke more than 6,500 feet into the air. Nearly 3,000 people were evacuated from the beach village after the eruption. According to the National Disaster Mitigation Agency, the volcano has been rumbling since October 2012.
So all you haters out there, I just want to know, how can you
Cuba's
really...
western region is counting the costs after Tropical Storm Andrea dumped heavy rains over the area
How can you
on
afford to be
Thursday,
hating now?
cutting off
Now this is going
communities
on.
and
I don't
leaving
get it.
hundreds of homes underwater. Towns in Pinar del Rio province on the island's western end were hit hard by Andrea, reportedly dumping up to 12 inches of rain in some areas of Cuba. The season's first Atlantic tropical storm, Andrea made landfall in Florida on Thursday and is forecast to drench much of the US southeast with heavy rain as it cuts across Georgia and up the Atlantic coast.
Tropical storm Andrea moving quickly toward the northeast, said to be a very waterlogged Friday for millions after leaving so much damage in its path.
With it, impressive numbers. In Wilmington, North Carolina, more than 5 inches of rain in just one day. That's about what they get in a month. Downpours in Raleigh, North Carolina, with more than 5 inches in less than 3 hours.
13 inches, almost 14 inches in North Miami Beach of rain. Boston picked up over 3. New York City had its second wettest June day ever with 4.16 inches of rain. Lots of records to talk about. Ventura, Florida. Look at this. They're on a bus and it's full of water. So imagine being on a public bus, people putting their feet up on the seats, trying to climb away from the water that was filling that bus.
There are people kind of freaking out and crying.
The tropical storm bringing heavy rains, over 5 inches in Manatee County, while in other areas, Doppler estimates...
I want you all to understand something. All this is going on is because you white people have been so honoring to the children of this planet, which is us melanated people. Now you can call it whatever you want, you can hate me or whatever you want, but I want you to understand something. Those light ships that you see up in the sun, it's my family. And we are here to kill you white people. Now you don't have to believe me because our job is going to be done whether you believe it or not. But this is what you should know. I'm not going to tolerate your little bullshit. All you people that think you're going to stagnate me by stopping me from making money, you know what I'm going to do? I just turned it up to 80. Watch what's going to happen. And I'm the only person on the planet that can say to these elements, okay, stop. And I could dry everything up and make all this bullshit go away because I got it like that. And of course you don't want to believe me because you want Jesus. But we all see that Jesus didn't come to work today. Neither did he come yesterday. As a matter of fact, his ass didn't show up the first day of work. And it's been forever waiting on him to show up. And he just ain't coming. So in the meanwhile, I'm just going to be tearing y'all ass up with this weather. And so I'm not even looking for a job anymore because guess what? I don't really need to. I mean, I don't because I know every time I go out there trying to, you guys just so upset with me for being honest with you about it being my family and the light ships causing all this shit. And instead of you starting to think, what if it is his family? I mean, because he did tell us that the lights were going to turn green on all the trucks and everything, and they did, but we still want Jesus, and Jesus ain't came, so fuck you, Asar, and fuck you too.
As waters of the Elba River remain at a dangerously high level.
The River Elba, which runs through this city, is threatening to burst its banks. 23,000 people have had to be evacuated from their homes after streets and buildings were flooded.
And see, they want you to believe that all this stuff going on all around the world, and with the death toll of everything, it's only been like about 200 people. But this shit is going on all over the damn planet. Someone's fucking with your head. They're lying because they don't want you to know that you're dying like hell and they're defenseless and can't do anything for you. They're useless as you keep paying your taxes and keep supporting. Watch when Washington, D.C. go underwater. I'm going to see what your ass had to say then.
Damage become visible. 27 vehicles piled up on Interstate 80 and one truck driver dead.
Tonight, we're keeping a close eye on the weather across the map. It's been a dangerous 24 hours, and forecasters are predicting a wild night and day ahead for much of the country. In fact, more than 75 million Americans are at risk of severe storm.
Good evening, Lester. This week is already off to a very active start.
It's a shame. There's 75 million people in America, and not one of you bastards brought a bottle of green light so you can see what's going on behind that. I told you, if you change your consciousness and you would have brought this green light, all this stuff could have been prevented. But your selfish, dumb, white, albino asses then convince all these dumbass black people too that Asara is a fraud. And you can see right now that as the rest of the country got destroyed like hell, we did pretty good up here in Washington, but that's getting ready to change because I turned it up to 80, which means that we getting ready to get our share too, because you guys did not come into compliance. And so the universe is going to get me out of here and just do her thing with you guys. I tried to warn you. Everyone rejected me. And so it's going to cost you.
The nation right now, weather experts putting out a kind of all points bulletin. 1 in 5 Americans in the path of what could become a weather phenomenon called a derecho, a 240-mile stretch of wicked wind.
That's an extremely powerful land hurricane with winds up to 100 miles per hour.
Now, the massive weather system that spawned nearly 20 tornadoes over the past 24 hours, now moving to the east, creating a dangerous situation tonight in big metropolitan areas.
That massive storm system that swept across several states from the Midwest to the Mid-Atlantic is being blamed for 4 deaths.
See the lies, only 4 people dead. See, such bullshit. Such bullshit. Look how green it is.
Tossing cars and tearing apart buildings. This afternoon, dark clouds and heavy rain rolled into Washington. These storms first began popping up last night, bringing damaging winds and heavy rain. In Worth County, Iowa, a terrifying 45 minutes as firefighters worked to rescue a child and 2 adults from a submerged SUV. Without warning, the child's safety line suddenly dipped below the surface of the water.
Uprooted and hundreds of thousands were left without power after heavy rains and strong winds slammed the East Coast. On the West Coast, a rare tornado touched down in Oregon, damaging buildings and homes.
I didn't even know
that. And then there's wildfires burning right now throughout parts of Colorado, and there are several of those going on right now related to the record heat and the high winds. Temperatures in the triple digits already for Denver today and for Pueblo. For Denver, that's the earliest this season to reach 100. And you're looking
in Colorado, the most destructive wildfire in state history is now blamed for 2 deaths. The Black Forest Fire has destroyed at least 360 homes just outside Colorado Springs.
The destruction is staggering. And tonight, 2 people found dead in Colorado's most destructive wildfire ever. 41,000 people now under mandatory orders to evacuate.
See, y'all asses ain't all that damn cocky now that the fire burning all your houses up, which make you think that you're so much greater than everybody. Materialism make you just make a damn fool out of yourself. And then the materialism you have, you got it from 500 years of oppressing us melanated people.
60 water rescues, dramatic flooding from Missouri to Iowa to Texas, gushing through yards near Springfield, Missouri.
And then you killed little Trayvon Martin, didn't you? Okay, it's on and cracking. We want our planet back. It's just that simple.
And look at that hail, spiky and bigger than the computer mouse. North of Des Moines, Iowa, streets were flowing with floodwaters. And south of San Antonio, Texas, creeks, ponds, and the Rio Grande River went surging through the streets this weekend. And look at those officers. They're waist-deep searching for those who are trapped. As many as 300 people spent the night in shelter. All of this after almost 17 inches of rain fell in just 36 hours. That's almost as much as the city gets in an entire year.
I be out here looking at my search engines trying to find all this stuff, and it never shows up on my computer. I think someone's fucking with my head, but it's okay. It's okay. What was that right there? Let's take a look at this. We don't need that to go over our head.
Shelter. All of this after almost 17 inches of rain fell in just 36 hours. That's almost as much as the city gets in an entire year.